Hare Krishna. On the Zoom is working?
Yes, Prabhuji, we can hear you.
Yes, Prabhuji, we can hear you.
Okay. But I'm not able to see. Something is wrong with my thing. It's okay. So maybe. Okay, got it. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 We are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 17, text 27. Acharyam mam vijaniya.
Acharyam mam vijaniya.
Acharyam mam vijaniya.
Acharyam mam vijaniya.
Navamanyeta karhichit.
Navamanyeta karhichit.
Navamanyeta karhichit.
Navamanyeta karhichit.
Namatya buddhya suyeta.
Namatya buddhya suyeta.
Namatya buddhya suyeta.
Namatya buddhya suyeta.
Sarvadeva mayo guruhu.
Sarvadeva mayo guruhu.
Sarvadeva mayo guruhu.
Sarvadeva mayo guruhu.
Acharyam mam vijaniya.
Acharyam mam vijaniya.
Navamanyeta karhichit.
Navamanyeta karhichit.
Namatya buddhya suyeta.
Namatya buddhya suyeta.
Sarvadeva mayo guruhu.
Sarvadeva mayo guruhu.
Acharyam mam vijaniya.
Acharyam mam vijaniya.
Navamanyeta karhichit.
Navamanyeta karhichit.
Namatya buddhya suyeta.
Namatya buddhya suyeta.
Sarvadeva mayo guruhu.
Sarvadeva mayo guruhu.
Acharyam mam vijaniyan.
Acharyam mam vijaniyan.
Navamanyeta karhichit.
Navamanyeta karhichit.
Namartya buddhya suyeta.
Namatya buddhya suyeta.
Sarvadeva mayo guru.
Sarvadeva mayo guruhu.
बोलो
Acharyam mam vijaniyan. Navamanyeta karhichit. Namatya buddhya suyeta. Sarvadeva mayo guruhu.
Acharya mam vijaniyan.
Acharyam mam vijaniyan.
Navamanyeta karhichit.
Navamanyeta karhichit.
Namartya buddhaya suyeta.
Namatya buddhaya suyeta.
Sarvadeva mayo guruhu.
Sarvadeva mayo guruhu.
Acharyam mam vijaniyan.
Acharyam mam vijaniyan.
Navamanyeta karhichit. Namartya buddhaya suyeta.
Namatya buddhaya suyeta.
Sarvadeva mayo guruhu.
Sarvadeva mayo guruhu.
Acharyam mam vijaniyan.
Acharyam mam vijaniyan.
Navamanyeta karhichit.
Navamanyeta karhichit.
Namatya buddhya suyeta.
Namatya buddhaya suyeta.
Sarvadeva mayo guruhu.
Sarvadeva mayo guruhu. Acharyam mam vijaniyan. Navamanyeta karhichit. Namatya buddhaya suyeta. Sarvadeva mayo guruhu.
Acharyam mam vijaniyan.
Acharyam mam vijaniyan.
Navamanyeta karhichit.
Navamanyeta karhichit.
Namatya buddhya
Namaste Buddhaya Suyeta Sarvadeva Mayo Guru
Acharyamam Vijaniyan
Navamanyeta Karhichit Namaste Buddhaya Suyeta Sarvadeva Mayo Guru
Acharyamam Vijaniyan
Acharyamam Vijaniyan
Navamanyeta Karhichit
Navamanyeta Karhichit
Namatya Buddhye Buddhaya Suyeta
Namaste Buddhaya Suyeta
Sarvadeva Mayo Guru
Sarvadeva Mayo Guru
Acharyamam Vijaniyan
Acharyamam Vijaniyan Navamanyeta Karhichit Namatya Buddhaya Suyeta Sarvadeva Mayo Guru
Acharyamam Vijaniyan
Acharyamam Vijaniyan
Navamanyeta Karhichit
Navamanyeta Karhichit
Namatya Buddhya Suyeta
Namaste Buddhaya Suyeta
Sarvadeva Mayo Guru
Sarvadeva Mayo Guru Acharyamam Vijaniyan Navamanyeta Karhichit Namaste Buddhaya Suyeta Sarvadeva Mayo Guru
Online, Amji Mataji.
Yes, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Acharyamam Vijaniyan
Acharyamam Vijaniyan
Navamanyeta Karhichit
Namatya Buddhya Suyeta
Namaste Buddhaya Suyeta
Sarvadeva Mayo Guru
Sarvadeva Mayo Guru
Shobharada Mataji.
Yes, Prabhuji. Acharyamam Vijaniyan
Acharyamam Vijaniyan
Navamanyeta Karhichit
Navamanyeta Karhichit
Namatya Buddhaya Suyeta
Namaste Buddhaya Suyeta
Sarvadeva Mayo Guru
Sarvadeva Mayo Guru
Anybody else is on the Zoom? I am not able to actually see the Zoom screen.
No, Prabhuji, only Madan Prabhuji is there.
Huh?
Only Madan Prabhuji is there, no one else.
Okay, okay. All right. Okay, so translation.
Translation. One should know the Acharya as myself and never disrespect him in any way. One should not envy him, thinking him as an ordinary man, for he is a representative of all demigods.
Okay. Next.
Author.
Next.
This verse appears in Chaitanya Adivira 126. This device is from Vishnu Pada. This is a verse from Srimad Bhagavatam 11.17. Spoken by Lord Sri Krishna in US question Bhagavad Gita spiritual orders of society. He was specifically describing how a Brahmachari should behave under the care of a spiritual master. A spiritual master is not an enjoyer of facilities offered by his disciples. He is like a parent. Without the attentive service of his parents, a child cannot grow to manhood. Similarly, without the care of a spiritual master, one cannot rise to the plate of transcendental service.
Next.
The spiritual master is also called Acharya, or a transcendental professor of spiritual science. Manu Samhita 2.140 explains the duties of an Acharya, describing that a bona fide spiritual master accepts charge of disciples, teaches them the Vedic knowledge with all its intricacies, and gives them their second knowledge.
The ceremony performed to initiate the disciples into the study of science is called Upanti, or the function that brings one nearer to the spiritual master. One who cannot be brought nearer to a spiritual master cannot have a sacred pledge. Thus, he is indicated to get sacred thread worn on the body of Brahmana, Kshatriya, or Vaishya, the symbol of initiation by the spiritual master. It is worth nothing if one merely boast of high parentage. The duty of spiritual master is to initiate a disciple with the sacred ceremony, and after this samskara or purification process, the spiritual master actually begins to teach the disciple about the Vedas. A person born a Shudra is not barred from such spiritual initiation, provided he is approved by the spiritual master, who is duly authorized to award a disciple the right to be a Brahmana. If he finds him perfectly qualified, in the Vayu Purana, an Acharya is defined as one who is the import of all the Vedic literature, explain the purpose of the Vedas, abides by their regulations, and teaches the disciples to act in faith.
Next.
In the object with immense compassion, does the personality of Godhead reveal himself as the spiritual master. Therefore, in the dealings of an Acharya, there are no activities but those of transcendental loving service to the Lord. He is the supreme personality of Spiritual Godhead. It is worthwhile to take shelter of such a steady devotee, who is called Ashray Vigraha, or the manifestation of or form of the Lord, of whom one must take shelter.
Okay, next.
Forces himself as an acharya but does not have an attitude of servitorship to the Lord, he must be considered an offender, and this offensive attitude disqualifies him from being an acharya. The bona fide spiritual master always engages in unalloyed devotional service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. By this test, he is known to be a direct manifestation of the Lord and a genuine representative of Sri Nityananda Guru. Such a spiritual master is known as Acharya Deva. Influenced by an envious temperament and dissatisfied because of an attitude of self-gratification, Mundainers criticize the real Acharya. In fact, however, a bona fide Acharya is no different from the personality of Godhead, and therefore to envy such an Acharya is to envy the personality of Godhead himself. This will produce an effect subversive to transcendental realization. As mentioned previously, a disciple should always respect a spiritual master as a manifestation of Sri Krishna, but at the same time, one should always remember that a spiritual master is never authorized to imitate the transcendental pastimes of the Lord. False spiritual masters pose themselves as identical with the Sri Krishna in every respect to exploit the sentiments of their disciples. But such impersonalists can only mislead their disciples, for their ultimate aim is to become one with the Lord. This is again.
Okay, next.
One and different from the personality of God. Sri Raghunath Dasa confirms that this is the deep position of the spiritual master, and says that one should always think of the spiritual master in terms of his relationship with Mukunda, that is Sri Krishna. Sri Jiva Goswami, in his Bhakti Vriksha, we find that the pure devotee's observation of the spiritual master and Lord Shiva as one with the personality of Godhead exists in terms of their being very dear to the Lord, not identical in all respects. Following the footsteps of Sri Raghunath Dasa Goswami and Sri Jiva Goswami, Vedic Acharyas like Sri Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur have confirmed the same truth. Master Sri Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur confirms that all the religious scriptures accept the spiritual master to be identical with the personality of Godhead, because he is very dear and confidential servant of the Lord. Gaudiya Vaishnavas therefore worship Sri Gurudeva, the spiritual master, in the light of his being the servant of the personality of Godhead. In all the ancient literatures of devotional service and in the more recent songs of Sri Raghunath Dasa Thakur, Sri Raghunath Thakur and other
spiritual master is always considered to be either one of the confidential associates of Srimati Radharani or a manifested representation of Sri Nityananda.
Om Ajnanatimirandasya Dhananjanasalakhaya Sakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Mukam Karoti Vachalam Bandhum Langayate Girim Yat Kripatamaham Vande Shri Gurum Dinatarinam Paramanandamadapam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Vancha Kalpatarubhyasya Kripa Sindhubhya Eva Cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namaha Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Nitinamni Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Kastachari Satharini Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shri Asadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So, we are in the 11th canto now. So, in this, there's a discussion between Lord Krishna and Uddhava. So, in which Uddhava is inquiring from Lord Krishna about the Varnashrama system, in which Krishna is explaining about the 4 Varnas and 4 Ashramas. Then obviously, when Brahmachari ashram is coming, so Krishna is explaining about how a Brahmachari goes to an Acharya, teacher, Guru. The aspiring student who wants to learn scriptures, they are sent to Gurukula, going to Gurukula. Generally what happens, the children up to the age of 5, they are at home. Kaumaram Acharyat Pragya. Prahlad Maharaj says, from the age of 5, one should start learning. And what you should learn? Learn about the truth of life, absolute truth. So truth actually, tattva. So in the same way, the children are sent to the Guru's place, and the Guru actually teaches the children, and the children live with the Guru. It's all boarding schools. They go to the Guru's place, stay in the Guru's place. And there they actually, the Guru treats the children like their own children. And the children look at the Guru and the Guru Patni's wife as their parents away from home. And the children are supposed to do all activities, menial services in the Gurukula, including cleaning the place, bringing the ingredients for cooking, and firewood for cooking. Everything the children are supposed to do. The Guru Patni will say, okay, go bring some firewood. So they go to the forest and bring firewood. You can't say this is a too simple job for me. Krishna himself did it. Krishna was in the Gurukul of Sandipani Muni. And Guru Patni said, Sudama and Krishna, you go and bring firewood. And Krishna is a royal order. उधर नहीं बोल सकते I am coming from Mathura, I am from Yadava dynasty. क्या है? Firewood लाने के लिए मेरे पास बहुत servant होता है. मेरा servant को भेज करके लाएगा. You have to do everything. You may be royal order. Gurukula means you are a student there. Uniform होता है ना? इधर uniform सबको एक ही होता है. You have to do all menial services. So Krishna himself went to the forest and they got stuck. You know the story, no? They got stuck, and then next day the Guru Sandipana is concerned. What? Because once the children come to them, it is their responsibility to return the child also back. You can't say that वो लोग गया था, आया नहीं है, हमको मालूम नहीं. So they have to. He is concerned. What happened? So he was searching and found out, and then Krishna and Sudama, they were taking shelter of a tree, but they didn't leave their service. Service given should not be left actually. The firewood they collected, they didn't throw the firewood. They were keeping it. अरे इसको लेके जाना पड़ेगा ना, सेवा दिया तो करना पड़ेगा. बारिश आ गया था, हमारा हम लेके आया, हवा में छोड़ दिया, पानी में छोड़ दिया ना. You can't come empty-handed. Service is given means you have to finish it and come. So every activity needed in the Gurukula, the children are supposed to do. They are supposed to go to the village and they go to house and bake some rice, dal, whatever, madhukari, and bring to the Gurukula, give it to the mother, and she will cook, and then when they are invited to eat, they will come and eat. Forgot means fasting. Gurukula means austere. Austerity has to be performed. And then teaching comes. Depending upon the Gurukula you are going in, you will be given an education. Suppose somebody like Dronacharya. Unka Gurukul mein you can't expect Brahma Vidya. You can add Dhanur Vidya. Depending upon what you want to learn, you have to go to a particular Gurukul. Every Guru, not every Guru will be teaching everything. What they are expecting, you can teach. What you are not expecting. So, Dronacharya, Acharya, that's also Acharya. Acharya means teacher, by the way. Acharya Mam Vijayinaya. Acharya means teacher. Suppose you go to Shilpa Shastri. What do you teach? Shilpa only you teach, no? So, Shilpa you want to learn, you go to Shilpa Shastri. You want to learn Ayurveda, you go to Ayurveda. You want to learn Jyotish Shastra, you go to Jyotish Shastri. You want to learn Brahma Vidya, then you have to Brahmana means Brahma Vidya means, then you have to go to a person who is well versed in Brahma Sutra. So Vedic knowledge is vast. So many fields of knowledge. Not everybody will be. Feeling cold means you can put it off, by the way. We have put it off here. After some time you can start this way. Vast field of knowledge. And one Acharya is expert in one thing only. Dance. Dance ke liye dance master ke paas jana padega na. Dance teacher, dance. So depending upon what a student is supposed to learn, he goes to a particular Acharya. So Prabhupada writes here, when somebody wants to know Brahma Vidya, then he has to first of all offer the initiation. That is why in the tradition, if you see, especially in the south, I don't know in the north, when the children are 7-8 years only, they will be given the Brahmin truth. They may not be even knowing why they are wearing, but the point is, only when you put the Brahmin truth, then the Brahma Vidya can be imparted. That is why when they are going, there also Gurukul is there, where they go and study reciting the Vedas and all. Even now there are Yajurveda Gurukul and all. If they have to be sent there, that will be taught only to a Brahmana. Shudra ke liye nahi ho sakta. To be a Brahmana, you should have a thread. Then first of all, you are initiated. Then you start. You may not be knowing why you are initiated, but then you are in the school. You have to learn. That is why the children in the young age, especially the South Indian Brahmin and all, very young age they will be having a thread. Very young age. Because first Upanayana, Upaniti, it is written in Upaniti, Upanayana. So first Upanayana. And then the children start chanting also. Amara Brahmin initiation alag hai. We are not talking about ISKCON standards. ISKCON standards. This is Brahma Vidya ka upar hai, Vaishnava Vidya hai, so it is a different thing. And I am talking about normal cultural thing. Even now, if you go to Chambur and know the mat hai na, udhar jaake dekho sab bachche log baith karke padhenge. They will have thread. You can ask, "Bhai, you already got Brahmin initiated. I am not in first initiated." Hamara alag hai, hamara rasta alag hai. That is cultural, this is spiritual. So the first, the student actually gets initiated, and then he actually starts the learning process, because a Brahmana can only be studying the Vedas, original Vedic scripts, Yajurveda, Samaveda, other Veda, non-Brahmana cannot touch actually. To qualify that person to start studying, initiation is given, because already he is in the family, so there should not be any big deal. If somebody Brahmanical quality will be naturally there. So in this way, the Vedic knowledge is important. And so here Upaniti written, Upaniti, Upanayana means coming closer, unless you come closer. So in the mantra is recited in the ears, because especially the Gayatri mantra, they cannot be publicly recited. It should be recited in the ears of the student. So in the ears of the student directly, so you come near only you can recite. No? So Brahman thread is offered and then Gayatri is given, so he gets qualified to be a Brahman. Then the Vedic knowledge imparting starts. But this initiation is applicable for the three orders actually: Vaishya, Kshatriya, and Brahman. Even Vaishyas, they also wear thread. They also wear thread. Maybe not in the modern times, at least some time back they were wearing. Even the businessmen, Vanijya, you know, Chettiar, we call Chettiar in the south, you know, Andhra people, they wear thread actually. They also wear thread. So in the higher order, three orders, they actually wear the thread. So, especially the Shudras, they are not imparted education in the Gurukula. Because it is not mere fact of no class, it's a mere fact of qualities. Because Sudras don't possess the quality of tapasya required, austerities to be performed, to undergo certain things. It's not the nature of a Shudra. Shudra is, the senses control is difficult for them, whereas the Brahmanical order, sense control is much higher. You say that fasting means one can fast. Shudra, difficult. But you say Shudras are generally prohibited. So that is why Vedavyas was so merciful that Shriyo Vaishyas Tata Sudras. Shriyo Vaishyas Tata Sudras. The knowledge of Mahabharat. Mahabharat is also sometimes known as the fifth Veda. Whatever is in the Vedic scripture, in a very, kind of condensed form, they are elaborated using incidences and stories. Things are same, conclusion is same, but then the same conclusion in Vedanta Sutra, it will be said in one sentence, which is said in one paragraph, one chapter as a story. In Mahabharata, Mahabharata is so long. Vedanta Sutra is not that long, it's only all sutra part. It's like, kind of sentences. It is very even difficult to understand. Whereas the same thing in the form of stories, Aisa Gaya, Dhima Gaya, Duryodhana. Finally, at the end of the day, what is the, truth prevails. Satyameva Jayate. Satyameva Jayate is said in one thing. And that one thing is explained in terms of entire Mahabharata to say that Satyameva Jayate. At the end, what is the thing? Conclusion is truth prevails. To do that, you'll have to do the entire Mahabharata, entire Ramayana. That Satyameva Jayate is actually from Upanishad. It's a statement from Upanishad. That is taken from Upanishad and put it in the India, this emblem. Emblem, Nietzsche Satyameva Jayate. Kahan se aaya? It's from Upanishad. Satyameva Jayate. That is a simple thing like Satyameva Jayate. If you say that Satyameva Jayate, Satyameva Jayate. But then how much you observe it? Satyameva Jayate, bola Satyameva Jayate. No, real life में ऐसा होएगा, ये सत्य असत्य तो वो नाश हो जाएगा, सत्य में रहेगा तो you will be victorious. That is what the entire Mahabharata, and Ramayana Mahabharata is telling about Satyameva Jayate. So, Shriya Vaishyas. So, Sudra के लिए क्या solution है? Read Mahabharata. Read stories, then it is easy to observe. But a Brahmana can observe Satyameva Jayate when he said, he doesn't need a story. With that only he said that, yeah, Satya only you should follow. That is Brahmana. Just you said one sentence, he doesn't need a purport for that. Yes, Vedas says Satyameva Jayate, Satyameva, I will do Satya. That capacity is there. That capacity is not there in a Shudra. So the story they karegi, oh, इतना मारा ना वो मर गया. अच्छा मरना पड़ेगा. ये ऐसा है. ठीक है. फिर मैं नहीं करेगा. The real life situation explained. You have to undergo so much suffering, humiliation. ये सब होगा. Oh, ये सब हमको करना पड़ेगा. फिर I follow Satya. This is the difference. So Shudras are not admitted in the Gurukula. If they say that you go and work with your father, learn the story and then only then you can't catch up with the higher standards of Gurukula Vas. Gurukula Vas is the highest standard because you have to follow the instruction. Discipline. Disciplining is very difficult in Shudra. Disciplining happens not by words, by means of beating. शूद्र को जैसा बैल को मार मार करके काम निकालता ऐसा शूद्र को मार मार के काम बोल बोल की नहीं बोलने से नहीं होगा मार physical things that is not allowed. So then comes Vayu Purana explains Acharya is one who knows the imports of all the Vedic literature. He actually should have, you can teach only you have learned properly. You can't teach, which you have not learned. You have to be, if you have to teach, you should have already grasped the essence, what you are going to teach. So the teacher has to be well versed in all the scriptures. Well versed. And he knows the imports. And he has to follow them. Very important. Achar, prachar. 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 Prachar means teaching. Achar means following. It is easy to teach. Teaching requires what, You need to know things and you can teach. And practice means it is more difficult. Suppose you say that you should fast. You should fast. Telling is easy. But fasting to karna hai na. Fasting karna is not like saying it fast. Fasting requires a different kind of willpower. Just telling that on Ekadasi we should fast. On Ekadasi we should fast. Ekadasi we should fast. But fasting is a different ball game. Same way, chanting. Everybody should chant Hare Krishna. Chanting ke liye lecture de sakte hai. But by the chanting bhi karna padega na. Spiritual life means one who is practicing, he only can actually preach. Practice before you preach. That's a norm. Not preach before you practice. You can't put the cart before the horse. Horse has to be in his position, cart has to be in his position. So an Acharya, not only, he actually will be well versed in practicing, then only he'll start preaching, teaching. He won't start a Gurukula unless he is well versed in his own practice. He won't say that, Abhi ho gaya, chalo sab log aa jao. He will keep telling, because what happens, see how scientific it is. Recently there was a study done in which there was a question about ethics. Now in modern days we talk about ethics. Ethics taught in the classes. How much impact it is having on the students? Research. Modern research. We are not talking about Gurukula. Ajka school. They did a study and what is the effect of ethics means morality. Ethics, morality. They concluded that the students will be able to accept and digest and follow when they see that those things are actually followed by the teachers. When they are followed by teachers, the students are more, tend to be, absorbing those ideas. Ethics. Ethics means don't do wrong things, do good things. Moral stories nahi aata hai na. If they say that the students actually see the teacher, whether the teacher is doing or not. If teacher is not doing, most probably the students will say that ASF Kamkani. This is what Gurukula teaching means. It says that you become teacher only when you are following. Then there's no question of teacher not following. No. There's no question of teacher not following. What is in the Gurukula system, only this research shows. So you'll have to know that the Vedic conclusions, they are already, there is no need for any further research on it. Whatever you try to do now and get a PhD, that's already there as a norm of the education. Teacher, he will be an Acharya only when he is qualified to become that. And generally, people don't take that position unless they are qualified. Fake लोग मिलेगा नहीं ज्यादा, अभी मिलेगा. We are talking about ancient system, those who are still following. It may be there also, but then like sometimes we'll find fake university को fake बना देते. छोटा school तो छोड़ दो. There is a study saying that there are so many fake university, means it's a big name and you put a board and you give certificate. Fake university. What to speak of small schools in some new corner of the world? Kali Yuga, it's all Kali Yuga. So, the teacher generally is a realized person. Not only just went to the school and studied, but he has practiced and realized also. And it is said that the Supreme Lord reveals to those people who are qualified. It's not that Krishna is going to reveal himself to everybody. And the spiritual master acquires the quality, very high standard of quality. And when he acquires that quality, then he also gets, because the quality of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is there. And the soul also has got the same quality, Satchidananda, Satchidananda. Qualitatively, they are one. And the Satchidananda is covered with contamination. This whole process of education and practice supposed to purify. So when he gets the original qualities manifest, then he is as good as God, as a representative of God, as a servitor of the God. As good as God doesn't mean that he'll stand on the altar and tell that everybody worship. The teacher acts as a representative. A representative are also worshipped. When Krishna is telling here, I am as good as the Acharya. What does it mean? It's a big statement. Krishna is making, by the way. Acharya is not making it, I am as good as God. That anybody can make. Here Krishna is telling, I am as good as Acharya. Acharya is as good as me. Don't disrespect him. It's a big statement Krishna is making. Big statement. Because Krishna is not directly available to the student. He is available through the Guru, Acharya. And what access we have is to the Guru, physically. Otherwise it is deity. Deity you can go and pray also, but deity will not correct you, no. Acharya's one important job is when the disciple is not doing rightly, he has to correct it. Aisa nahi karna, aisa karo. Suppose you go to the deity and you do wrong thing, Krishna is going to go, aisa aisa mat karna, karke bolega. Isko to qualification hai nahi. We are not qualified for Krishna's reciprocation. Then who will correct? Guru, Acharya, when you do wrong. So he is, the Prabhupada writes here, Supreme Personality of Servitor God. Even though he is very advanced stage, he always thinks himself to be servant of God. He doesn't demand that I have become as good as God. No. He always says that I am servant of God. But it is for the others to recognize that because he is in the advanced stage of Krishna consciousness. And he is ready to give shelter to the student so that he can train the student to become qualified to go back home. Very important job. Job description is very important. The unqualified person, somebody like a Shudra or less than Shudra also, and you train him in such a way that he actually qualifies to go back home, back to God. It's a very important job, right? So in this way, yeah, Guru, Acharya, engages in a very, very important assignment of qualifying an unqualified person to go back home. So now we are discussing about spiritual topic. When ordinary Acharya, what he will do, he will be training a person in particular Veda. That's all, you go and practice. But a Guru's position in Krishna consciousness is much higher than that, that's why. The Vaishnava training is much higher than the ordinary Acharya of Yajurveda. You will teach Yajurveda and go and do some temple worship somewhere and make your livelihood, that's all. There's no question of going back to God, doesn't arise there. Just teaching the Vedas and go. Medical, you teach Dhanurveda, you teach how to shoot arrows and go on to shoot arrows. The shooting arrow doesn't make you go back to God anyway. Kshatriya, go and shoot the arrows and live as a king, and then that's all. So Vaishnava Acharya, his position is much, much higher than ordinary Acharya, ordinary teacher. Because he actually makes a person to be engaged in Krishna consciousness, and he corrects the person when he is going wrong. So the Acharya's duty is to correct also. You don't expect the student to be all perfectly doing things, all mistakes. Job is to correct. So he takes that role and qualifies a person to go back to God. And for that, the servitorship of the God is required. He should always think that he is Dasa Dasanutas. When one doesn't have that attitude, then it disqualifies to become Acharya. There's always qualification, there's a disqualification. He may be accepting the student with the idea that he is doing a service of qualifying him to go back home, back to God. If that attitude is not there, then it's not another job of a teacher to make a livelihood. In Krishna consciousness, the role of Acharya is not just a livelihood. That is, you can make your livelihood by becoming any teacher. Why you become teacher of Gita? You can become teacher of dance also. Go learn Bharatanatyam and become Bharatanatyam Acharya. If it is only money, sometimes you may make more money in other teaching actually. In Gita teaching. If you teach something else, you may make more money, So it's very, on one hand, there is always high regard given to that position, and then qualifying to that position is also important. It's not automatic. So when one qualifies, he is considered to be the direct manifestation of the Lord and the representative of Nityananda. Nityananda Prabhu is Adi Guru. So that is why Krishna is telling, don't disrespect that person who is teaching you Krishna consciousness. Because he is on my representative. Suppose Krishna is there, Krishna's representative is Acharya, and you say that I accept Krishna, I don't accept your representative, what Krishna will do? It is stated that if a rich man is having a dog, you cannot say that I accept you, I don't accept your dog. He will say that if you accept me, accept my dog also. कुत्ता को कुत्ता जाओ करी बोला तो तुम जाओ, मेरा कुत्ता को जाओ बोला. The master is attached to the dog. If you insult the dog, then the master is not happy with you. Kutta ke liye. What to speak of Krishna being happy with his own devotee, whom he thinks that is my devotee करके बोलता है. My devotee करके बोलते हैं. My कुत्ता के लिए इतना कर सकता है. My devotee के लिए कृष्णा कितना करेगा? So we have to know that because the devotee is so purified, he has accepted that position, then Krishna is very dear to him. That's why Krishna says that now manyata karichit. He cannot be disregarded, disrespected. And the disrespect shown to the Acharya and the Guru is actually indirectly disrespect shown to Krishna himself. That's what Krishna is indicating. So when one is situated in that level, then the philosophy of our philosophy, Achintya Veda Veda applies. Simultaneously one and different. As we said, it is stated that Sakshad Aritvena Samastra Samstra. Shastra says that. Sakshad Ari. So Guru is Sakshad Ari. In the sense, a servant, a representative. Sakshadhari doesn't mean that he will start exhibiting opulences. Sakshadhari doesn't mean that he will start enacting the pastimes of Krishna. Oh, I am a Sakshadhari, I am as good as Krishna. Then I will start doing Ras Leela dance. Our teaching is such that you can't take it to one end and try to apply it in an extreme situation. There is always a positive side and the negative side is there. Even though Sakshat in the sense that he represents Krishna and he accepts the service on behalf of Krishna, but not acts like Krishna, doesn't imitate like Krishna. Then you should tell that first you go and lift the Govardhan hill, then you do, after keeping it there, then you dance around Govardhan. ये नहीं कर सकते वो भी मत करना बस इतना सिंपल है. Apasampradayas are there, Sakajiyas and all, they will try to enact some of the thing. That is why we call them Apasampradayas. We are not bona fide. Many Apasampradayas. They think that if you are Gopi, then they will start dressing like Gopis. I think there was a question sometime back about Apasampradaya, right? Somebody may be a Gopi also in the original Swarupa, but they don't dress like Gopi. Sanatan Goswami, Rupa Goswami, all the Goswamis are actually Manjaris, means Gopis. None of them wore any Gopi dress. Gopi dress. Not necessary. जो गोपी लोग है वो लोग ड्रेस नहीं पहना गोपी ड्रेस, जो फालतू लोग है वो लोग पहन के घूम रहे. That is Sagajiya. We don't. This is same thing. Not imitating the pastimes of the Lord. Pastimes are not to be imitated. It should be meditated upon. It should be absorbed in consciousness, not physically manifest. One can be in the mood of gopis, in the mind. Mind mein ro. Bahar nahi dikhane ka. So that is the teaching. And this way, the spiritual master, one of the confidential associates of the gopis, Srimati Radharani, manifestation of Nityananda Prabhu. So in this way, when one actually is situated on the highest level of Krishna consciousness and it practices. So in Krishna consciousness, teaching means preaching. We are not running a Gurukula like what we are talking about in the ancient time. Some Gurukulas are there, but modern education, but practical purposes for the modern days. In Krishna consciousness, what it means that a person who is practicing and what he is preaching is actually teaching. Because already people are grown up. उनका जाएगा बोलेगा गुरुकुल में जाओ 23 साल 40 साल के बाद क्या है. So what we are teaching is actually like a Gurukula education of the teacher. This is the teaching. Adult education. Children education, जो children है वो गुरुकुल में जाएगा. जो already हो गया उनको 6 session से start करना है. First 7 session को 3 session को उधर से start करके वो teaching में जाता है. And Lord Krishna says here that such a person who is teaching Krishna consciousness He is acting as a representative of Krishna, and he says that he is as good as himself, as good as Krishna. And he should not be disrespected and envied upon. Suppose somebody is acting in the level of a guru, there may be 100 disciples, 100 people are serving him, so nobody needs to envy him. Are, kitna karta hai? Sometimes you will see Prabhupada will go to the Western country. The disciples will be honoring him, offering him a seat, Vyasasana like that. Reporter will ask, why you are sitting in a high seat like this? Because generally, they make a big Vyasasana. And Prabhupada is sitting like a king, And reporter, yeah, in West, they don't like equality, Why you are sitting on equal, why you are sitting like that? They will ask, why you are sitting like that? Seat was there, given, what can I do? What I can do about it? You are going in such a big car. You people are not working anything. You are all happy, enjoying. You are Guru and you are accepting so many things. Don't envy. Krishna is telling. Don't envy because he is my representative. Especially the king comes, king's representative comes, king's representative also is kingly. No, what do you need to be envy? He's representative. On behalf he's coming. What's the problem? Don't think him to be an ordinary man. He's not ordinary. He may look like ordinary, but then because of the spiritual appearance is one thing, and then actual reality, advancement is another thing. If one is advanced, then he has to be treated accordingly. And Krishna says he is the representative of all the demigods. Sarva Deva Mayo Guru. Demigods. Somebody wants to become demigod, he Sarva, not one demigod, Sarva Deva Mayo. Like Go Mata is called Sarva Deva. All the demigods are residing in the body of demigod. That is why we are worshipping Go Mata. Go Mata ko hi puja karta. PM contestant are doing Go Puja. Go Puja. Why Go Puja? Somebody says he's an animal only. Why are you worshipping animal? Sarva Deva Mayi. All the demigods residing like that in the same way in the body of Guru. All the demigods, whatever they are supposed to execute, the Guru is doing that on their behalf. He is in charge of the disciple. No, he is instructing by instruction, do this, do that, getting the things done. Sarva Deva Mayo. Krishna is telling. The Guru is not declaring, I am Sarva Deva. Krishna is telling. So in this way, the Acharya, Guru's position is very unique, and the pure devotee of the Lord is as good as the Supreme Personality of God, and accepting his position, accepting his instructions, accepting his teaching, and following that will actually lead a person to perfection in Krishna consciousness and qualify him to go back home, back to Godhead. So that is what is discussed by Lord Krishna in this verse. Lord Krishna is instructing this to Uddhava. Any questions? Yes.
Line hard to understand. The Jiva Goswami, which last paragraph.